Adams. He's been writing about Donald Trump's persuasion for months, and I owe him for pointing out some of these tactics. So there's a link in the description to his blog if you want to check it out. In the meantime, let's start with the double bind.
You said in September 30th that ISIS was not a
am I
not
talking or are you talking, Jim?
I'm talking right now. I'm talking.
You can go back. You're not talking. You interrupted me,
September 30th,
Are you going to apologize, Jeb? No. Am I allowed to finish?
Yes.
So let's take a look at this perspective on Jeb Bush. Donald said, "Are you going to apologize?" No, answering for Jeb. So that gives Jeb a couple of options. One, he can not say anything. But if he doesn't say anything, Donald has already predicted that he's not going to apologize for interrupting. Jeb loses, Donald wins. Okay, option two, he can interrupt Donald again. But Donald has already accused him of being an interrupter, so he looks like a jerk if he continues to do that. Donald wins. Or he can apologize, in which case Donald wins again. All of the outs within the frame that Donald has put on Jeb lead to victory for Donald in this exchange. That is the power of a double bind. There's no good option here. The only way to deal with this, if this happens to you, is to create a new frame, which is probably a topic for another video. I don't want to touch on it here. But let's look at an example of another great double bind just a few seconds later.
One at a time. Go ahead,
Am I allowed to finish?
Go ahead, Mr. Trump.
So,
Little of your own
again,
medicine there.
I know you're trying to
Governor
build
Bush,
up your energy,
please.
Jeb, but it's not working
One at a
very
time.
well.
Yeah.
Look.
There you go, another great double bind. Donald has been taunting Jeb throughout these debates for having low energy. So in saying this, what he does is either make Jeb look like someone who is reacting to Donald's taunts as he tries to be more high energy, which case Donald wins, or Jeb goes back to low energy saying, "No, you can't control me, Donald," but then Donald just gets to steamroll the entire conversation anyway. These frames are constant ways that Donald is able to assert power. He doesn't give people other options, and he's been doing this for years. Now, the double bind protects Trump from downside, but how does he get his ideas into your head? His most basic tool is simple repetition.
We need a toughness. We need strength. We need strength. We need tough people. We need toughness. We have to be much tougher. We have to be much stronger than we've been. You're a tough guy, Jeb.
When they called me today, they were so apologetic. They called me up this morning. They were so apologetic. When they called me this morning, they were apologizing.
And then the big granddaddy of all repetition. I have never seen anything like this in my life.
We don't win anymore. We don't win anymore in our country, Sean. We don't win anymore. We used to win. We don't win anymore. We don't win with trade. We don't win with war. We can't even beat ISIS. And we're going to win. If I win, I will tell you, if I win, we all win because we are going to win.
Now, you might be watching this and think this is all silly. This couldn't possibly be effective, and if so, only on dumb people. But it's actually extremely effective on all human beings. That's why companies have jingles. You see, we don't consciously know how we form our opinions, but once something gets into our head, we tend to defend it regardless of how it got there. So Donald Trump hammers home these very, very simple ideas, and I know that the next clip is from a movie. I insert it just because I think it's a fun commonality, but it actually gets it right. We as humans don't have an easy time with complex facts and figures. It's these simple ideas that take root in our brain.
You need the simplest version of the idea in order for it to grow naturally in your subject's mind. It's a very subtle art.
So there you have it. Trump is following the rules of inception, and they work. Take a look at this repetition combined with another favorite tactic of Donald Trump, social proof.
And everybody said I won the debate. Everybody said I won all 6 debates, and especially the last one. Everybody said I won that debate. Every online poll said I won every one of the debates, especially the last one.
You get the idea, and that's just one interview. Now, the focus on what everybody says is no mistake. You may not have watched the debates, but if you see even one interview with Trump, you walk away with the distinct impression that everyone in the world thinks Donald Trump won. And that's very, very powerful. Because when humans make a decision, we don't gather all the relevant information and then make a calculated decision. What we do is we look to see what the herd is doing, and then we follow suit. And we do that especially when we're overwhelmed with information, as we are in nonstop coverage of elections or even sophisticated tech products. And Trump knows this, so he's very, very careful about avoiding negative social proof as well. Check it out.
You know, a lot of people thought when you started to run that this was a joke, that you weren't going to get anywhere, that you were a buffoon. You know it all. But now
I don't think they thought I was a buffoon. What kind of a statement is that?
Well, some people
I built a great company.
Some people didn't like you.
Best-selling books. I had one of the top television shows in television. Nobody
but you were run.
No, they thought I wouldn't run, and then they thought that if I did run, I'd just have a good time for a little while, and then I'd get out. Unfortunately for them, I'm number one by many, many points.
So you see, Trump is very protective when it comes to what people are supposedly saying about him, and he reaffirms his popularity there at the end. But Trump doesn't stop there. He uses a special kind of social proof, which is an appeal to authority. And this is basically when he says that someone with a prestigious title supports him. It doesn't rationally argue